You're with the Northern Miner. We're here at the PDAC Conference 2025, and I want to shine the spotlight on a particular company, EMX Royalty. It's a Canadian-based company involved in the acquisition and management of mineral royalties. Now, the focus is on everything from precious metals, gold and silver, but it also deals with base metals and battery metals like copper and cobalt. Well, it's a pleasure to introduce the CEO of the company, David Cole. David, thanks indeed.
David, my pleasure to be here.
Okay, so I want to get an overview of the company, and I thought perhaps the best way to do that is to just talk about the expanded interests in Peru and tell us how that kind of fits to your longer vision of what the company really wants to do.
Well, here's my vision to start the company as founder is I believe that the value of mineral rights is augmenting over time. And the best way to be exposed to mineral rights is through royalty ownership, because royalties are phenomenal financial instruments with immense embedded optionality. So it's the way that royalty holders benefit is when new discoveries are made on our properties and as commodity prices continue to increase in order to fulfill society's demand for metal. And we love copper, we love gold, and we love our assets in Peru, as an example. Let me tell you about how we have accumulated this portfolio of over 140 royalties, exposing us to 4 million acres of mineral rights worldwide. We do it through two mechanisms. We actually go out and are the prospectors, if you will. We acquire the prospective mineral rights, stake mining claims, acquire licenses, etc. We build geological database, illustrate prospectiveness, sell to an industry hungry for discovery opportunity in exchange for various commercial terms and a royalty, right? And then to augment that, we do exactly what we just did in Peru as an example. We also buy royalties to help build that portfolio. And the one we just bought in Peru on the Chapi mine, we're very pleased with that. And that's a near-term producer. It's actually a past producer coming back into production, and we're giving them some of the funding they need to be able to execute on that. And it's right down the fairway of the type of deal that we like to execute on.
Now, you had groups do something similar before, but I want to get your take on what differentiates EMX from the others that were there before.
Probably the most significant differentiator between us and our astute competitors, and that is our ability to generate royalties through the royalty generation process, where we are actually the underlying mineral rights holder, and we have added value by illustrating prospectiveness and then sell that on. And that is enabling us to accumulate royalties at the base of the pyramid with that long-term discovery optionality very inexpensively. And that's the thing that differentiates us. When I'm buying royalties, I'm commonly competing with the other royalty companies to buy those assets. But there's a good synergy between royalty generation and royalty purchase. And that is that the same team that's out in the world in the mineral belts, smart economic geologists identifying opportunities to acquire mineral rights, they also occasionally come up with a royalty to buy from a prospector or someone like that. And that's really enabled us to be able to jumpstart and build this portfolio at a fair value.
It sounds selective, it sounds strategic. I'm wondering if you could just highlight that portfolio of yours.
Highlight the portfolio?
Yeah.
So, 140 royalties, 6 of which are production cash flow. Another 40 have pre-production cash flow, putting us in a position where we've had strong positive cash flow now for 8 quarters in a row, and there's no looking back. The 2 kingpin royalties in that portfolio that really drive the analyst net asset value that they've published on EMX. Those are the Timok project operated by Zijin in Serbia. And that is a copper gold operation. They're currently in production from one of the closer to the surface high-grade upper zones, whilst they're doing the development work to get the lower zone, which is gargantuan, 2.5 billion tons at approximately 0.9% copper equivalent, massive deposit. And they're doing exploration elsewhere on that license, contributing to discovery optionality for us. And that's fantastic. And that's a kingpin asset for us with immense long-term value. Another one similar, operated by Lundin in northern Chile, the Caserones mine. That one's copper and molybdenum. It's paying $10 million a year right now as it sits. And I've heard that the Lundin family are very happy with the discoveries they're making from in-pit drilling. That's a great place to find more ore. In-pit drilling at Caserones, in addition to testing targets nearby. Strong producer already. That's going to be an asset that will pay for many decades into the future, in our view. Another kingpin asset.
David, when you look at your growth strategy going forward, what helps is a strong financial position. I believe you have that.
Yes, we're in a strong shape financially. We've been buying back shares. We bought back 5 million shares last year. And Franco-Nevada is a shareholder, and Franco-Nevada holds our debt, and we have a joint venture with Franco. So our growth strategy is of course the organic growth that emanates from that portfolio naturally as with royalty exposure, which is wonderful, in addition to selective royalty purchase and continuing to find prospective mineral rights to buy to contribute to royalty generation. That's our viewpoint.
And finally, as I wrap up here, David, I want to find out growth catalysts for 2025. There's a lot happening on the exterior end and internally, right?
Yeah.
How are you watching this?
It's this magic of it's a beauty of owning royalties is you get all these discoveries happening within the portfolio, particularly now because we've been building this portfolio for 20 years. So we have Diablios, where we have a royalty, that gold silver discovery that's advancing nicely in northern Argentina by Abra Silver. He's doing a great job, right? And that's one that's going to be moving forward. The Viscaria mine coming back into production in northern Sweden, where we have a nice royalty on that. That's a copper, iron, gold being advanced by Viscaria Resources, another example. And I could go on and on. The South 32 discovery at Peak in Arizona is another great example. Perhaps the most important one is what Zijin has alluded to as the MG zone on our license, where we have a royalty in Serbia. There's 12 drill rigs we can count in the field and count on the high-resolution satellite imagery. It's going to be very interesting. Zijin said they'll give us more details in the next quarterly report.
It'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Well, David Cole, CEO of EMX Royalty, thanks very much indeed for your time.
Devin, thank you. My pleasure to be here.